Welcome to Obsession Code. Today we're talking about something that confuses many men and quietly destroys many relationships. Why she feels nothing anymore. Not anger, not hatred, not even sadness. Just nothing. No excitement. No warmth. No emotional response. And the most painful part is this. It often happens while everything still looks fine on the outside. When men hear this, they imagine something dramatic. Arguments, cheating, explosions. But emotional numbness is quiet. It shows up as indifference, short answers, lack of interest, a distant presence. She still shows up, she still functions, but emotionally she's gone. This doesn't happen overnight. It builds slowly, silently, over time. Most men look for a single cause, a mistake, a fight, something they did wrong. But emotional shutdown usually isn't triggered by one moment. It's caused by accumulation, small disappointments, unspoken needs, repeated emotional flatness. Nothing dramatic enough to leave over, but enough to slowly disconnect. Relationships don't die from conflict. They die from emotional starvation. When connection fades, people don't feel angry. They feel empty. And emptiness is far more dangerous than anger. Because anger still cares. Numbness doesn't. Many men are confused because they did everything right. They were loyal, consistent, reliable. But stability alone doesn't create emotional connection. It creates safety. Safety is important. But safety without emotional depth becomes monotony. Over time, monotony turns into numbness. Attraction requires contrast, energy, tension, presence. When everything becomes predictable, emotional polarity fades. She doesn't feel challenged. She doesn't feel seen. She doesn't feel emotionally moved. And when nothing moves her emotionally, she stops feeling. Many women don't articulate emotional loss clearly, not because they're dishonest, but because they don't fully understand it themselves. They feel something missing but can't name it. So they say things like, "I'm tired. I don't know what's wrong. I just need space." These aren't excuses, they're signals. Needs that aren't expressed don't disappear. They turn into resentment, then resignation, then numbness. By the time she says, "I feel nothing," she often already tried to fix it internally, silently. For a long time, men respond with logic. But everything is fine. But we have a good life. But nothing is wrong. Logic doesn't revive emotion. In fact, it often confirms her feeling that this is all there is, which deepens the disconnect. From the outside, the relationship looks normal. No chaos, no drama, no red flags. But emotional erosion doesn't make noise. It just removes warmth. Until one day there's nothing left to feel. At some point, she becomes aware of the numbness. And that realization is frightening. Because feeling nothing feels worse than feeling pain. Pain still proves you're alive. Numbness feels like emotional death. Once she notices the emptiness, distance feels like relief. Not because she wants to hurt you, but because space reduces the pressure to pretend everything is fine. Distance feels honest. When emotional numbness exists, even small sparks feel intense. A conversation, validation, novelty. Not because the other person is special, but because they awaken feeling. Feeling anything feels better than feeling nothing. This is why affairs sometimes happen. They're rarely about sex. They're about emotional stimulation, feeling seen, feeling desired, feeling alive. That doesn't justify them, but it explains them. You can't force emotion, you can't command desire. Once numbness sets in, trying harder often feels fake. And fake emotion deepens the emptiness. Many women feel intense guilt during this stage. Guilt for staying, guilt for leaving, guilt for feeling nothing. So the mind searches for a story that reduces guilt, often unconsciously. To justify the emotional shutdowns, the past gets rewritten. She was never happy. It was never right. I ignored the signs. This isn't manipulation. It's self-protection. Men experience this as betrayal because they were present. They were loyal. They didn't leave. And yet they're told it was never enough. That hurts deeply. Emotional connection requires ongoing presence, not performance, not comfort alone. Presence means emotional awareness, tension, polarity, curiosity. Without these, attraction slowly dies. Earlier honesty could have helped, earlier discomfort, earlier conflict. Silence feels peaceful in the short term, but deadly in the long term. Emotional safety matters, but emotional depth matters more. Attraction doesn't survive comfort alone. It needs contrast. Feeling nothing isn't a failure, it's feedback. But waiting until numbness appears makes repair extremely difficult. Sometimes this can be fixed. If both people are honest early, if numbness hasn't hardened into identity, if emotional presence returns before indifference becomes permanent. But once indifference sets in, the relationship is often already over emotionally. She doesn't feel nothing because she's cold. She feels nothing because something important slowly disappeared. Emotion doesn't vanish suddenly. It fades when it's not nourished. If this helped you understand something you've experienced or witnessed, subscribe. This channel explores psychology, relationships, and the truths most people avoid. If this opened your eyes, support the channel with a like and subscribe so you never miss the next lesson in the Obsession Code.